your opening statement that you've said that up to 150 million taxpayer dollars have been misappropriated in your estimation?
Correct.
How many board members and executives are in conflicts of interest and are funding companies that they have a financial interest in?
At least half of them.
Are you able to provide some examples to the committee?
I think key examples would include ex-CEO and ex-chair Annette Verschuren and Leah Lawrence. I think what they've said before is not the full truth, because Annette Verschuren said that she had never applied for anything at SDTC, but she in fact applied to SDTC for her Verschuren Center in 2021 and tried to get funding for that organization, which was ultimately rejected.
Sir, you mentioned that you have documented proof of the things that you've said. Is there any information that you have not submitted to the committee that you would be able to provide to the committee specifically with respect to your testimony today?
We are willing to provide all the information under the condition that it's also publicly released.
Okay, so you'll be able to forward that to the clerk?
Yeah.
The conflicts of interest that we've seen that have been identified as with respect to appointees of the Liberal government that have totaled more than $600,000 with respect to, specifically with respect to COVID payments with Ms. Verschuren and Mr. Ouimet. These are not isolated incidents with respect to those COVID payments. Is that correct?
That's correct. When we're talking about the COVID payments, what we need to talk about is that there were two payments that were made. And the findings of the RCGT report don't just say that the conflict of interest rules were broken. What they've also found is that all of the $40 million that was given out was not even effectively tracked, because anything that's funded by STTC has to be tracked for eligible funding, and none of that happened for both payments, which was founded by the RCGT report.
Well, how much money flowed to the companies that are in conflict of interest?
For both of those payments, it would be almost $2 million each time to likely a dozen companies or more. It's hard for us to really know because we were not really made aware of all the conflicts of the board members at most of the time.
So you just heard testimony from ISED officials, the deputy minister. To your knowledge, in their opening statement or in response to questions from members of this committee, did they mislead or fail to provide fulsome answers?
They did.
Can you provide the details of that assessment?
So, with regards to the ISED situation, ISED representatives were open and transparent about the investigation from day one and provided weekly debriefs on the progress. There was no coercion in any of this. And here are the real facts of the matter. ISED representatives have spoken multiple occasions that there were no briefings made to PCO regarding the situation. This is a lie because we have evidence that the deputy minister and ADM were in continuous conversations with PCO because the investigation included GIC appointees. The minister has spoken on the record multiple times that he was only briefed on the outcome on August 27th, but that's definitively not true, and he has lied at the ethics committee. The deputy minister spoke to the minister's office and the minister on several occasions before the briefings were finalized, including edits that were made on behalf of the minister's office. The real truth of the matter is there was a definitive consensus across the bureaucracy at both ISED and PCO, and the full board and executive team at SDTC needed to be terminated. This was described to us in detail and on multiple occasions in late August and September. The outcome of this situation only changed when the minister's office became involved, and he is ultimately responsible for SDTC, and he's the one that needs to tell the truth about what the real situation is. With regards to some of this, we have already submitted clips and transcripts from September 1st and September 29th that provide all of the detailed information. And if I have some time, I'd like to just go over some of that.
Okay, I've got